Yo, what's poppin', ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy John coming back at you with another video. I'm in Bangkok now, and yeah, I look tired as fuck, bro. I've not slept since yesterday, and I just had a smashing, like a gigantic Americano. It wasn't actually physically big, but it was like strong. So it's like woke me up a little bit. And I'm awake now, and the ideas start to permeate through my mind. They just start to like rustle up, like as the energy levels kind of come up in my body and my mind, it just all goes straight to the body, the brain goes straight to the head, and like, ooh, I just want to talk, I just want to get the energy out, so I'm here. And that's kind of why I started this channel in the first place. Yeah, like I started this when I started my journey of quitting online adult entertainment, yeah. And I had so much energy when I first started, dude. I had so much energy, I had so much vitality in my body. I had so much energy, I didn't know what to do with it. To be honest, I had no idea what to do with this energy, because I'd never had it before. So like, I know that I used to come across as really intense and enthusiastic when people met me, and a lot of people liked it. A lot of people were very much like contaminated, if that's the right word. They were like it's a negative word, to be honest. They were like, it was contagious. But it was a bit too much, and it was definitely too much for me to always be in that kind of high energy state. Although you will be when you quit adult entertainment, because you just have more of your life force within you, and your mind's not contaminated with the bad kind of thinking. Because again, I've already said this before about no PMO. I've already said this about online entertainment and all these things. They're not good for your soul, bro. They're not good for your soul. It's not good for you. It's not good for your mind. And it's certainly not good for your relationship with women, all right? It's not. And I don't need to tell you why, because you've heard it a million times before. By the way, this is my last video on no PMO. This is my last video. I ain't making another video on this shit anymore, bro. I'm done. Alright, it's time to move on. But this is my last comprehensive video, so yeah, listen to this if you've been following my stuff about it. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into what's the comprehensive review of PMO, and why you need to keep it out of your life, and also why you need to stop thinking about it. I just realized I've got a selfie stick with my baggage in the airport, which is there, but I didn't bring it, which just makes so much sense, doesn't it? But anyway, PMO is terrible for you, and I'll tell you why. Because it's the devil. That's why. It's the devil. If you think about what the devil is, not just for like the Bible or any kind of religion, but just in the human experience, what is the devil? The devil is that thing that makes you feel great now, it's pleasurable now, but it takes something from you. Like, it takes a bit of you or a bit of your soul, and you can't get that back. Or if you can get it back, it takes a hell of a lot of time to get it back. Yeah? I don't have an analogy for you, but that's about it. That's what the devil is in Western civilization, at least. In the East, probably similar, right? Like Mara in Buddhist traditions is the temptress. She tried to tempt the Buddha before his enlightenment. Again, it's all like traditional stuff, and it's all theology, right? It's all just analogies and shit, but there's truth to it, man. There's truth to the fact that, hey, look, if you take the easy option out and you give in to instant gratification all the time, obviously there's some times where you just give in, bro. You're a human being, come on. I've lived that celibate lifestyle when it, like, to everything, not just sex, but like everything. So like fast food, junk food, sugary drinks, sugary foods, people, sex, everything. I've been really celibate in the past, and that's not the way forward. It's definitely something to do in a short, like I would say, the short period of time, in a very, like, especially when you're beginning, right? When you start no PMO, you start any kind of self-development, you want to start with, I would say, monk mode. You want to start with being kind of celibate, because you need to rewire your brain a little bit. But after a while, man, Jesus, you're a human being. Come on, you're a human being. Human beings are sexual animals. We're social animals. If you're going to sit there and say, I'm going to be a virtuous, hey, look, if you believe in no sex before marriage, hey, more power to you, bro. I'm no one to say that anything to you, and I'm certainly no one to tell you as well if you're a guy that's like, I want to be Casanova, big man, I want to be Casanova. Again, I ain't gonna say anything to you either, because I've kind of done both, right? But PMO will rob you of any choice, because all you do is you feed your lust. All you do is feed your obsession, and you don't do it in a very healthy way. Because here's the thing, and here's my diagnosis on why PMO is a big problem. It's because if you think about human beings, and this is at the primordial level, right? This isn't all levels, just the primordial, just like the bane existence of human beings. What's our purpose, man? As biological beings, what the fuck is our purpose? Yeah? I don't need to be Mr. Einstein to tell you that it's to survive and reproduce, and that's it, right? All your emotions, all your mental processes, all your physical abilities, all your focus is going to be on survival and replication, or survival and reproduction. All right? Now, again, this is at the bane existence of human beings. Okay? Obviously, I've got my interests, you've got your interests. You might like a bit of wine, you might like a bit of onion bhaji, I don't care, right? Your foods may change, this may change, your tastes change. You like to sit in at midnight and watch Netflix. I don't care what you do, like, personally, but at the end of the day, the one thing that unites all living organisms is survival and reproduction. So if you now have a society where you don't need to survive anymore because you're taken care of, you don't have any immediate physical dangers anymore, other than the fact that you're obese and mentally unhealthy and all other kinds of self-created problems, because those are self-created problems. You don't really have any problems. You don't really have any need to survive or even compete with other people anymore. So testosterone levels stay down. You're comfortable, so you're at home. Now what is there for you to do if you're not surviving, you're not necessarily competing? Because, you know, even when you're working on your goals, that's a form of competition, right? Maybe it's a competition with yourself, but it's still competition, right? So, man, like, what else is there to do? All right, reproduce, right? Well, you're at home all the time. You're pretty either introverted or antisocial. So that means you're not really in your community. You're not really talking to people, or at least forming good relations with people. And you're certainly not contributing anything to your community either. And even if it's a shit community, you're not contributing anything to it. So now what are you going to do? Well, you're not going to speak to a real chick and try to have a kid or have a nice relationship with this girl. No, because that's too hard for you. For you. So what are you going to do? You're going to go on porn, and that's going to be your main outlet for pleasure and entertainment. And this is going to completely rob you of any of the human joys that exist in this life. It's going to rob it. It's going to take it away like that. It's going to leave you feeling depressed. It's going to leave you feeling lethargic. You're always going to be anxious and thinking about what other people think of you, because you're not socially skilled, you're not socially adept, you've not put yourself in those situations to become comfortable with people. You've kept yourself estranged from human beings, and then your only form of like social communication is either going to be through gaming, through your co-workers maybe, or through OnlyFans, which is a new thing now. God. And the thing is, I've considered all of these three outlets, especially when I was back in my real like bad days when I was younger. Really fucking super depressed and just didn't want to do anything with my life. Terrible shit. Terrible place to be, because I felt mentally defeated. That's when I realized, and that's my conclusion today, if you're not mentally healthy, bro, there's no point to living life. So if anything affects your mental health negatively, you have to assess the situation and see whether or not this is a good thing or not. You've got to assess it, right? I'm not a tyrant. I used to be one. I used to be a tyrant. So I used to say, nah, you got to remove it completely. You got to get rid of it 100%. You've just got to root it out. And I realized that that's actually pretty fascistic, man. Like, human beings aren't really meant to be like that. That kind of comes from my religious upbringing as a child. But really, it's like you assess the situation. You're like, is this thing good for me? Is it good? Is it bad? You know, you do some critical thinking, right? No one should be telling you what to feel, what you should do. No one. All right? It should always be you deciding yourself, is this good for me or not? So you look at PMO, you look at something like adult entertainment, you're like, okay, when I'm on it, this is what I'm like. When I'm coming off it, this is what I'm like. When I've been off it for 90 days or whatever, this is what I'm like. When I reassessed my situation, I was like, well, this thing is making me tired. It's making me socially anxious. It's making me be very introvert. For some reason, it just makes me want to be really introverted, and it makes me not interested in other people. I feel less able to express myself confidently when I'm on it. I feel less connected to other human beings when I'm on it. And this is really funny because I saw a study on PMO, on porn actually, specifically, which looked at what areas of the brain activate when people watch PMO, when they watch porn, what areas of the brain are activated. And the study was so interesting because it showed that the parts of the brain that get activated are those when you are looking at an object or you're dealing with objects as opposed to human beings. Absolutely bizarre. So when you're watching porn, basically you're seeing objects and you're looking at the women as objects. So now when you come across a real woman in real life, you have no fucking clue what to do, because you've all your exposure with sex and women has been through the object making perception in your brain. Of course you're going to be awkward and fucking creepy with a real girl. Of course you are, because you're not even interacting with this level of, do you see what I mean? You're ruining yourself, basically. You're ruining yourself. And I was like that, bro. I was like that for years. And look, I'm being really open on my YouTube channel because I've met so many people in the last few years, and people have taken an interest in what I have to say, which is really cool, nice of them. So I'm open because I genuinely want people to change their ways when it comes to this stuff. One of the biggest sins, and when I say sin, I just mean one of the biggest things that's going to destroy you and your soul is PMO. And I think this goes for men and women as well, to be honest, because women also have intimate needs that they want to fill. Women can get sex like that, right? Women can get sex easily. It's not a problem for them. That's not what women want, though. Women, of course, they love sex just like men, but women really want a good connection with a guy. That's all they want. They just want a really good guy who has the qualities of the masculine and the feminine, who is strong but at the same time empathetic and generous, and they want to keep him. They want him to be with them forever, right? But men, what do we want? We want the most beautiful girl. We also want a connection. But the thing is, our interest changes, right? Our interest changes. We lose interest really quickly. Once we get what we want, we lose interest like that. So this is like the dilemma with the sexes right now. At least that's what I've seen. But you don't fix the dilemma with PMO. That just makes the dilemma worse, because now both sexes just don't even understand each other anymore. At least before, in the past, you'd have to put in effort. And this is a lost art, by the way, but you'd have to put in effort to understand people. You'd go out there, you'd learn how to make conversation, you'd learn how to be seductive and a bit flirtatious and how to entertain other people. You'd learn this stuff, but you don't learn this stuff anymore because we don't live in a very social era anymore. It feels like it's a social era because you've got all the social media and YouTube and everything, but we're not really that social anymore, man. We're spending most of our times on the phone. We only talk to people if it's really important. We don't just talk for the sake of it anymore. If anything, most of the time people think you're a bit of a weirdo if you talk. So, and that's obviously not in all cases. But the point I'm trying to make here, man, is this is my last video on PMO. I'm not talking about this ever again, unless there's a question that's given specifically to PMO. Being obsessed with PMO and no PMO is in itself a bit of a cringe alert, a bit of a cringe. It's like, my friend was like, he was making fun of my channel a little bit, and he said that you stop jerking off, you fucking idiots. That's your channel, basically. And it's true. Like that was my channel for the first 2 or 3 years, but now it's moving in a bit of a different direction. It's more to do with self-help, and I don't really like the word self-help. It's a bit cringy, actually. More self-actualization, more becoming the best version of yourself, more defeating those things that are holding you back. All right, I'm gonna find a place to piss. Let's head back because it's fucking desperate, mate. Oh god. That is one intense fucking piss that's coming out, bro. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you enjoyed the part of me talking about the fact that I'm gonna piss myself. Yeah, it's been great. Last video on no PMO, not talking about it again. Finished now. Bye. Mwah.